What's up, guys? Pastor Rob here, back with another reaction video. As usual, I've got my son Gage.
What's up?
And as usual, we're going to be reacting to a song requested by you guys in the comment section of our video. Today's song is from the band Kilswitch. I keep wanting to say Kilswitch and Gage because, you know, I'm Kilswitch and he's Gage. We're going to use that joke every time we do this band. This might be our second or third reaction to, I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember ever reacting to them.
I'll put links. I know we did one and it was good. So I'll put links up there to that. But we're going to do the song called Reject Yourself. It's been recommended several times. So, yeah, you ready to jump into it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Already has that old school vibe. It's an older song. I like that.
Makes me want to pick up my guitar.
I like that.
I love this guy's clean vocals.
Nice.
That guitar sounds so good. Sounds like an acoustic and electric layered together, maybe.
Whoa! Nice. Man, it's a strong vocal.
The guitar sounds gorgeous. I like how they brought back that guitar.
Wonderful. Nice.
That's a perfect outro.
It really is. Just fades it out.
If it ended where you thought it was going to end, I would have been sad.
It would have been, yeah. Wow. That was a good song.
Perfect ending.
I don't remember the song we did before, but I'm pretty sure
I wish I remembered
it.
it. I know one song off this album, My Curse, which is probably one of their more popular songs. I don't know. One of my friends added it to a playlist that we have together, and I always liked it. But I never really checked out any of their other music.
Is that? It's not metalcore.
It is metalcore. Probably a different
just
brand.
Early
of it.
metalcore. It's older song, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Or at least
I
usually
don't
put
really
the date down,
understand
but I
like
forgot.
the whole metalcore thing because like this is metalcore, but also for instance like Silent Planet is metalcore, and this
Which is
doesn't really sound
totally
like
different.
Silent Planet at all.
Not at all. This gave me like 80s Metallica vibes, you know?
Why does everything remind you of the 80s?
I'm from there, but I'm just saying it had those, you know.
It sounded very 2000. I gotta guess 2004, 2005.
Yeah, probably. We'll have to look, see if you're right. But yeah, I guess whenever I hear those melodic guitars come in and that
True.
fast
I could
beaty
see that.
thing,
I could see that.
You know, when I first heard that stuff was in the 80s.
That
so
is very true.
to me,
And I guess that's when it
brings me
first
back.
started coming out. If you think of like Iron Maiden, for instance.
True. There you
They
go.
had the melodic harmonized guitars, and that's what these guys had right here. It
That makes
also
sense.
reminded me of like In Flames, which is a band that I really liked that had like a similar vibe with the guitars, just like very melodic.
Have we done one of their songs yet? We need to.
I don't know.
People keep asking. I think there's a 666 or something, some song that has that in it.
Oh, yeah.
People keep asking for that one.
Yeah,
need to
they
check
have a
that
lot
one
of
out.
really good songs.
We'll put that on our list.
I got to see them live once.
Nice. Rockville.
Rockville. Yeah, I was at a festival. It really sucked because it was like rainstorms on and off, so bands kept getting canceled. We thought In Flames was going to get canceled, but last minute, turns out they were still on. So
Oh, you shared video from the mosh pit. You're all the bloody.
Oh, that was what was that? Whitechapel. Yeah.
I don't know. All the
In
same.
Flames was cool because it was like in the rain, and we were all like mad because all these other bands got canceled. So we just let it all out in the pit.
That's cool.
It was fun.
That's fun.
But I really want to listen to more of these guys. This song was great.
That was a great song. Good recommendation. Whoever
Yeah.
recommended it.
Just comparing it to My Curse, which is a song that I knew by them before, I'd say equally as melodic, but a lot more intense. Like the really fast parts with like the tremolo picking and the fast drums. I didn't expect that from them. I didn't know they got that heavy. And like the little acoustic part was really cool too.
I always thought they were like a pop rock kind of thing, like a mainstream.
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought that too.
Like Seven Dust.
I mean, maybe their newer stuff started
Possibly.
leaning more in that direction. I don't know.
I wonder. I'm willing to bet August Burns Red's probably influenced by them.
Probably. Or
Very
maybe they
similar
came up
sound.
together.
Possibly two.
Yeah.
Possibly two. Same era.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
So-
I could see that. I almost want to say that I like these guys a little better.
Yeah.
Just this song.
That's blasphemy, Gage. That's blasphemy.
This song
in the
was
Christian
really
world.
good. This song was really great.
It was a really good song. Really
it just
good
like
song.
immediately hooked me in.
That's good.
Which a lot of songs don't really do that for me. Like even if I enjoy it, they don't really like hook me in, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm glad. That's exciting for me. We got to find more songs. Recommend more songs that will catch Gage's ear that are in this vein.
This was really good.
I love seeing him as engaged. Run that into the ground. So lyric-wise, it's funny because when you hear a band called Kilswitch Engaged, there's no D, I know. Kilswitch Engage, and you hear metal and you hear that sound, you hear those vocals, the first assumption is, even the album cover is broken glass, maybe a bullet hole in the glass with a skull, you know.
Yeah.
It's like demonic, somebody might say.
Yeah.
As a lot of people assume
Maybe I'm
about metal.
desensitized to it, but I didn't get a very scary vibe
Well,
off of this.
True, but I grew up...
Especially with the clean singing, it was almost like
True, but you'd have to get through the
Therapeutic.
other stuff. No, I agree
true,
with
I
you.
guess.
But I grew up in the Satanic Panic era, you know, of music and stuff. So carry a lot of that into my thought process as I hear stuff. I imagine people reacting that same way.
Gotcha.
But what's crazy is the lyrics are literally a call to compassion for those in need.
If I remember correctly, I think My Curse even had a positive meaning behind it. I don't remember for sure,
Yeah, I mean,
but I feel like it.
their cries are blown away in the wind. So these people who are crying out for help are not being heard, right? Mm-hmm. How passive can we be before humanity is lost? How long can we sit here and just do nothing before these people perish? Turning our backs on those who need love. We must not rest while healing is needed. Tear down the veil that bars your heart from feeling this. Dedicate yourself. Give your souls to compassion. With open arms, embrace this heart. With open eyes, behold the truth. Embrace this life. So little time is left. This nice sense of urgency there. We must be relentless. We must go hard after this. We must be relentless in our pursuit of those in torment. A couple ways we might be able to interpret that. We'll get to that in a second. Tear down the veil that bars your heart from feeling. Dedicate yourself. He repeats that. Become the voice of compassion. With open arms, embrace this heart. With open eyes, behold the truth. He repeats all that. Can you reject yourself? Can you feel their agony? This is a call for empathy. To feel what they're feeling. In a world that feeds on disregard, heal the brokenhearted. It's like go against what the world is doing. The world feeds really on, from his perspective here, feeds on not caring. Like you think about how much stuff's presented in the news and how many people we know that are hungry and dying and thirsty, and we disregard helping them. You know, it's commonplace. And it's used for headlines, for gain. You know what I mean? There's people profiting off of these tragedies we've talked about in other videos, and little's being done in some cases. Don't get me wrong. This is a very generalized statement here, but it really makes me think of like Luke 9:23. Jesus says, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily." Like this denial of self. Don't put the needs of others before yours. Deny yourself. Now, in this case, this is Jesus is talking about a call to discipleship and denying your selfish desires and all that stuff that you would follow Jesus. But following Jesus includes being compassionate to those who are sick and in need. 1 John 3:17. But if anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother in need, yet closes his heart against him, how does God's love abide in him? So the evidence that you are that God's love abides in you, that you're a believer, that you're a follower of Christ, is that if you see someone in need, you help them. Very, very biblical concept, and he's calling to this self-denial. I think of Colossians 3. It's a longer section, but it'll make a good point here. Paul says, "Put to death, therefore, what is earthly in you, sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, covetousness, which is idolatry. On account of these, the wrath of God is coming. In these you too once walked when you were living in them, but now you must put them all away. Anger, wrath, malice, slander, obscene talk from your mouth. Do not lie to one another, seeing that you have put off the old self with its practices, and have put on the new self, which is being renewed in the knowledge after the image of its creator. Here there is not Greek and Jew, circumcised and uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave, free, but Christ is all and in all." There's no divisions by races and classes. That's what he's saying in that section. Then he gives the command on what to do, and he says to put on then, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts. Put on compassionate hearts. Put on kindness. Put on humility. Put on meekness. Put on patience, bearing with one another. And if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other, as the Lord has forgiven you. So you must also forgive. And above all these, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body, and be thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly, teaching and admonishing one another in all wisdom, singing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs with thankfulness in your heart to God. And whatever you do, in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. So the believer is called to disregard the world's ways, to disregard malice and slander, and put on this new self and love and forgive and be meek and compassionate was one of the words we used here, right? Compassion. That's the call of a disciple, is to be compassionate to other people. And that's what the song was about.
Yeah.
And I think, do we do a good job of that as a church anymore, as believers? I see people online giving. I mean, there's people I don't see, I'm sure. I know because I hear stories. But you see a lot of compassion online, but really it's self-promotion, right? Disguised as compassion. hey, set the camera up over here, walk a few steps. Hey, Mr. Homeless Guy, here's some food, and look at me, and look at all I'm doing. I'm not totally against that, because part of it is to encourage others to do the same thing and show them how easy it is. So I don't want to question people's motives, but let's be real here. Some of them are literally just ways to get views and so on. It's not compassion driven. It's selfish, whatever the word I'm looking for, selfishly driven. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
It's driven for your own gain. So again, I'm not saying we can't do that. I'm just wanting to give you an illustration, especially in today's culture. I see that a lot, and it seems that way very much so. And, when I think about being compassionate to others, so we have a couple things we need to be doing, right? Feeding the homeless, right? Helping the sick. Our church, anytime someone's sick, we put together what we call a meal train, and all the families come together, and we book out a month or however long we think this person needs help, and they get meals every day.
Yeah.
When my wife was going through chemotherapy, we had a lot of people. We had food for months.
Yeah,
and it was good food. Oh my gosh, it was good food. And that's the church showing compassion.
It helps that our church is mostly old people. Those old ladies know how to cook.
They do know how to cook. That is so true. But yes, and that's an evidence that you are, as 1 John 3:17 said, that God's love abides in you because you see a brother in need and you open your heart towards them. There's the evidence, right? The other thing I kept thinking about too is, let me make sure I covered everything. So we have feeding the hungry, helping the sick, what are women? Widows, helping widows, all sorts of things that we need to be doing, culturally and sort of tangibly, physically helping. But then you also have one of the greatest needs, which is the gospel, which is biblical truth. And I think this song really, the first thing I thought of was a quote from Charles Spurgeon, where he says, "If sinners be damned, at least let them leap to hell over our dead bodies. And if they perish, let them perish with our arms wrapped about their knees, imploring them to stay. If hell must be filled, let it be filled in the teeth of our exertions, and let not one go unwarned and unprayed for." And I was getting that, like, the quote's coming to mind because I was getting the vibes, because he's like,
that's such an urgency.
Yeah, like exactly the sense of urgency. I actually was going to draw a line from that line down to my quote there, and that's it. There's this in our pursuit of those in torment. And I'm pretty sure he's referring to those who are suffering.
Yeah.
But still, we can maybe apply that to people who are in torment, going to hell. I used the term hell in that quote from Charles Spurgeon. And that's one of the greatest needs. All the feeding and all that stuff is good. We need to be doing that. That is an evidence that God's love abides in us, because He's forgiven us. He's done so much for us. We do to others. It's just a natural, natural result of a changed heart and a follower of Jesus, right? Sometimes we need to be reminded, but that's our desires. Is God's desires.
Yeah.
But the greatest need beyond that, if they go to hell with a full belly, we've failed. So I say it's both and. So our compassion and our urgency should be both, twofold: to feed, to help, to support, to be a shoulder, and to preach the gospel. The gospel being the most important, I think. And that last line where he says, "Heal the brokenhearted." I mean, that's what it is. The Bible says that we have hearts made of stone, and that the gospel gives us a heart of flesh, a heart that's hard against God, and a heart that's soft and loving towards God, and as a result, loving towards other, and the fruits of the Spirit, and so on.
Yeah.
Well, great song. Thank you for the recommendation. Hopefully, you learned a few things today or had a few things to think about. Thank you for the recommendation. Leave some more recommendations down in the comment section. We'd love to hear more stuff like this to get him hyped up, because that gets me excited. And until the next video, may the light of the Lord continue to shine on you. Peace.
Peace.